Today is the day we've all been waiting for. Juraj Slafkovsky is skating with the second line at practice, and it looks like he'll finally be getting some more minutes in the Habs' next game. We'll be talking about that, plus an ex-Habs employee speaks out against Max Pacioretty and unveils some light on the whole situation when he was with the Habs just a few years ago. Finally, we have a Habs prospect update, talking about some monster nights from some of the Habs' top prospects, so you won't want to miss this edition of Habs Digest. Hello, bonjour, ahoy, and welcome to today's news edition of Habs Digest. I'm your host, Josh Gosse, and before we get into the video, really quick, 75% of you guys who are watching are not subscribed. If you like daily Montreal Canadiens content, this is the channel for it. In my opinion, the best one on YouTube. If you enjoy it, please subscribe. We're trying to hit 5,000 subs by the end of the year. We have your back every single day. For our first topic today, the news we've been waiting for as I opened the video with, oh boy, it's so exciting to see that Juraj Slafkovsky, our first overall pick out of Slovakia from the 2022 NHL draft, we've been hyping him up all season. He's looked very solid as an 18-year-old, but today, finally, we got news that he is skating in Mike Hoffman's spot on the second line. He'll be playing on left wing with Christian Dvorak at center, Brendan Gallagher at right. So what that means for the other lines is that we now have, Dadonov on the left, Monahan at center, and Josh Anderson on the right at the third line. But it sure seems like Slafkovsky will be getting second line minutes, a new look for him in this upcoming game, and I could not be more excited. Me and Jesse have been, huge on this train. We've wanted for ages for Slafkovsky to finally step up into a higher minutes role. While he was doing solid on the fourth line, those guys are, let's be honest, not that skilled, the guys he's been playing with, the likes of maybe Pizzetta, Evans, and Armia. While great players, he really hasn't been getting much opportunity, especially not on special teams. But we slowly saw him start to get into the power play, the second power play, where he ended up scoring a goal. And finally now, we have him, maybe what'll be a net front role, maybe more of a one-timer role on this line just to get a heavy shot on net with the likes of Gallagher ready down low, trying to be scrappy, put some pucks in. Like, Gallagher and Dvorak have been doing a great job of being around the net, and I think Slafkovsky will complement them perfectly. It is just such a breath of fresh air to finally see that Coach Martin St. Louis has faith in Juraj. And not only just a breath of fresh air, it's really impressive that Slafkovsky, who has really been playing mostly fourth line minutes and a bit of power play too here and there, has finally convinced the coaches, whether it's through his play in game or in practice, that he is deserving of that second line spot over guys like Hoffman, Drouin, Dadonov, whoever it may be. So, Slavzilla is in full effect now. We're seeing this growth pattern, right? Every single day he seems to be getting better, seems to be getting more used to the North American ice. Every single day his role is increasing, and we're finally seeing him move up the ranks. Now, I would love to see him next to Monahan. I'd like to see him with that Monahan and Anderson line, which, yeah, that could be cool. Maybe we'll see that in the future. But as of now, I'm just super excited, and I think all of you guys should be too. Section 2 of today's video, Pierre Gervais speaks out against Max Pacioretty. And if you didn't watch our news video the other day where we spoke a bit about some news that was unveiled about Dominique Ducharme, Pierre Gervais was a former Hab. I believe he was on the 1993 Stanley Cup winning team, and he has been the team's equipment manager for decades. This past May, though, he retired from the team for good. He had been there for so long, and recently he wrote a book. And in this book, in French, he has been outlining some interesting things about the Montreal Canadiens of the past number of years. As we spoke in the last video, some very negative things about Dominique Ducharme and how the players felt about his tenure as head coach. And some more information has come out in the past day or so, talking about Max Pacioretty. Now, this following quote is in French, but I'll do my best to translate as I go, so please bear with me. My French is okay, it's not the best, but we'll try. Here we go. J'ai été étonné d'apprendre, I was shocked to hear, in September 2015, que Max Pacioretty avait été élu le capitaine de l'équipe à la suite d'un vote secret des joueurs. So he was surprised in September 2015 when Max Pacioretty was elected the captain of the team after a secret vote from the players. Max just came off a season of 37 goals and was our best forward, notre meilleur attaquant, but he really didn't have the profile, I guess, the style, the personality for the captain job is what I'm sort of getting from that. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, please. C'était un gars très égocentrique. He was a very egocentric guy. He rarely smiled, souriait rarement, and he didn't really mix with the others, and ne mêlait pas aux autres. On pouvait gagner 10-1 et il boudait s'il n'avait pas marqué. So to say we could win 10-1 and he would be upset, he'd be sulking, sooking if he didn't score. So some very interesting news to come out about Max Pacioretty. Like, you know, as we all knew, like, there was some, when he was captain and after he left, there was a lot of talk about, was he the worst captain in Habs history? You know, that question is maybe still up for debate. He really didn't personify being a captain on the ice for sure. It felt like, yeah, sometimes he stood up for his guys and he was our most skilled player for sure, one of the better offensive players in recent memory for Montreal. But this quote here really sheds some light on what he might have been like behind the scenes. And again, this is from an equipment manager, so we don't know if this is all necessarily true, but who else could be more trustworthy than a guy who has been a member of the Habs organization for as long as I've been alive and as long as many of you may be able to remember? So it at least holds some ground. Like, this is, it's not just some random dude tossing this out. This is in a book written by Pierre Gervais, and a book that I've been debating picking up to read for myself. As of now, I've just been looking online at some of this news, but this Pacioretty stuff is very interesting. We had our suspicions about it, but we never really knew, and it actually goes on later to say that what may have happened, the players, when talking to each other, seem to have thought that Subban would have won the vote for captain. It seems like the players all said to each other, yeah, I voted for PK. But he ended up not getting it, and it seems like Pacioretty got it. So there was some suspicion that management, or maybe the GM, maybe the owner, appointed Pacioretty as the captain, even though PK really won the vote. That's not confirmed. But we also had later in the article that Pacioretty and Subban fought a lot. They would often get into yelling matches at practice, and yeah, they really, really did not get along. And it seems like the chemistry in the locker room at that time really was not good. So anyway, I thought this was very interesting. If you're not following along, there are some, maybe every day there are people who are tweeting out or posting articles online about some passages from this book. And if you're interested, maybe I'll go find the book and link it in the description or something. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But it's a French book by Pierre Gervais, so I suggest you look into this a bit for yourself, because it's very interesting to finally get a behind-the-scenes look at those Habs teams of just a few years ago. Our final topic for today, though, let's end it on a more positive note. We got a Habs prospect update. So we like to do these every now and then, not every single day, because not every day a Habs prospect does something great. But just yesterday, we had a few awesome things happen for Habs prospects. The first thing we want to say is Joshua Roy, maybe not our top prospect, but definitely in the top 10 of Habs prospects, playing in the QMJHL. He had a 5-point night in the QMJHL, a massive night for him. No matter what league it is, he continues his hot tear to start the season. He has been outstanding in the Q. There are some questions whether his skating ability will translate to the next level, but he should be playing on the World Junior team. I'd say he'll probably make it come later this year, so I'd be excited to keep an eye on him, especially after the offensive explosions like this. Our second player, Logan Mailloux, famous, infamous draft pick from Marc Bergevin. Les Canadiens sont fiers à choisir Logan Mailloux. That was, questionable pick that some Habs fans like, some Habs fans don't. But regardless, he's a prospect in our system now, and we have to deal with it. And he is playing really well. He had another goal the other night, just last night actually. Another beautiful snipe on a wrist shot. Mailloux has been showing a really, really great shooting touch. Not even a shooting touch, just a hard shot, accurate shot, which is very interesting. Like, I can hope that this will translate to the next level. Not sure yet, but there seems to be, maybe, in the future, maybe some Power Play 2 upside for Logan Mailloux. That's yet to be seen. But finally, another player that we haven't really talked about on this channel at all. He was a third-round pick. I believe it was 75th overall, maybe 72nd, somewhere around there, this year in the 2022 entry draft, and that's Vinzenz Rohrer. And he is out of Austria, and he had an overtime winner. I believe it was for Ottawa in the OHL last night as well. And he was playing against Owen Beck's Mississauga Steelheads. Owen Beck being, of course, one of the Habs' top prospects, maybe their number one prospect, not in the NHL right now. He's been phenomenal. But it was Vinzenz Rohrer who came out on top last night with the overtime winner, and he looks really skilled as well. It seems like Montreal's really hit on their draft picks this year with Slafkovsky, with Owen Beck, with Lane Hudson, with Filip Mesar. We're rolling in talent. We're really spoiled to have what we have, and I suggest going to look at some of these highlights if you can. You know, I know not everyone is really into the prospects. When I was a younger hockey fan and one that's not as passionate as I am now, I really didn't look a whole lot into the prospects coming up, but now that I'm doing this and I'm watching the Habs every night, it's just an extra thing to love about this team, an extra thing to follow, and something I suggest you take a look into as well. But that'll do it for today's news edition of Habs Digest. If you enjoyed the video, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel. We want to hit 5,000 before the end of the year. I know that's crazy. It's a crazy goal, let's be honest, but you guys have shown amazing support. Our growth has been phenomenal, and we hope that you guys can continue helping us reach that milestone. I've been Josh Gosse. We'll catch you in the next video.